Yes! I freaking knew it. Welcome back to another episode of Wrestle Capsule, where you're going to be getting your weekly dose of pro wrestling talk. And I'm your host, B. So welcome back to the show. Today is a great day. Better yet, last night was a great night. And by this title, you guys already know what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Kenny Omega made his return on AEW Dynamite. And I freaking knew it. I know everyone around me wasn't sure. They were like, no, he might come back for All Out. They're saving that for All Out. But I knew that Kenny Omega was going to be coming back on Wednesday Night Dynamite. And do you know why? First and foremost, let me just say this. And I'm probably going to get hate about it. And people are going to be in my comments being extra and rude. But I really don't care. This is my show. And I'm just going to tell it like it is. Ever since Kenny left, he had to go get surgery and heal and recuperate. Ever since he left in November 2021, AEW product has been different. I'll just say it. It was different. And I felt like after he left, things changed so much to the point where I slowly but surely stopped watching it. Like I stopped watching Dark, I stopped watching Elevation, then I stopped watching Rampage, and then I even stopped watching Dynamite and everything all together. Like I just lost interest. And not saying that, Kenny Omega is the end all be all, like that's the only reason why I was watching AEW. Not true. But I feel like there was a shift when Kenny Omega left. You guys in the comments, let me know if you understand what I'm saying, if you agree with me. If you don't, let me know what you guys think. But this is my point of view. This is what I noticed when I was watching it, because as you guys might already know, I was watching AEW from the jump. When I watched freaking Double or Nothing, their first pay-per-view, and I was there in October of 2019 when their first Dynamite episode aired on TNT, and I was excited. And I was for it, and it was during a time where, honestly, WWE sucked balls. Like, I don't mean to be crass, but you guys understand what I'm saying. Like, AEW was another wrestling promotion, an alternative wrestling promotion that we could watch and enjoy and re-fall in love with wrestling. So I'm getting off on a little tangent. But anyway, I'm super happy that Kenny Omega is back because I'm hoping that things will be different. Now, they can't go back to the way that they used to be because there's certain people that are not there anymore that I believe had a hand in making. Not saying that it was them that made everything great in AEW, but they had a hand in helping to make AEW what it was that made me fall in love with it in the first place. But yeah, Kenny Omega coming back. I knew he was coming back. And the reason why I knew that he was coming back yesterday and not waiting until All Out is because AEW needs Kenny. Now, overall, did I like the episode of Dynamite? There were certain parts that I did enjoy. And then there were parts where I was just like, y'all could have kept that. But I felt like there wasn't going to be any other person that could fill that role as the third person within the group of the Young Bucks. Like, I remember they were teasing, I knew that that was already established that Hangman Adam Page wasn't going to be a third person in the group with the Young Bucks because he decided he was going to keep his allegiance with the Dark Order. Makes sense. So then we're thinking, who else is going to be? I couldn't think of anybody else that was going to be able to fill that role and be with the Young Bucks and have that, that bond in order for them to be in the Trios tournament. And then I know that before Kenny came out, before Justin Roberts started announcing him, and I knew it wasn't going to be Brandon Cutler, but they were teasing that it could have been Brandon Cutler that was going to be the third person in the group because he was in the ring and he started unzipping his track jacket, and I thought, I was like, oh my gosh, is he about to wrestle? I hope it's not him. Like, I love Brandon Cutler, he's funny for what he is, for what he does in the elite group, but it just wouldn't have made sense, and it would have been a letdown. Like, I feel like if Kenny wouldn't have came back yesterday, it would have been a letdown. And in light of everything that is happening in the wrestling world right now, with WWE stepping up every single week, bringing in more ex-WWE wrestlers who were released or who just outright quit. Every single episode, there's a new person. Whether there's a new person or there's a new story, there's a new suspense to each show. I felt like it was going to be all or nothing with Dynamite last night, because I'm not going to say there's a war, but shots are being thrown. Shots are definitely being thrown, and it was important for AEW to do something, to clap back in some sort of way, to make a statement, because WWE, Raw, SmackDown, even NXT has been making statement after statement that they are here and they're not going anywhere, and they're going to be pushing the future, they're going to be pushing talent, and you can't ignore that. Like, Tony Khan can't ignore that. And I know he's watching the WWE product. I know he is. And I can see it I saw it in Dynamite last night. So we're just going to get into this. So I did watch the whole episode, but I'm honestly not going to talk about every single thing that happened in AEW Dynamite, because a lot did happen. Some things, like I said before, I liked, and other things I flagged off or I rolled my eyes about it because I just wasn't into it. One of the things I was into it was the match between Toni Storm and Kilynn King. That match between those two was dope. The only thing that sucked about it was, like, everyone loves Toni Storm. I love Toni Storm. She was straight up disrespected when she got on the main roster. I believe she got on SmackDown. And I vividly remember, like, her trying to go for the SmackDown Women's Championship back when Charlotte Flair had it. And how there was one segment where they were out near the ring, and I forgot what celebration was or something like that. But I'm going to have like a clip, or not even a clip, because you know how YouTube is. I'm going to have some sort of picture or something. You know how I do. Always put pictures up. But Charlotte Flair, like, threw a pie or a cake in Tony's face, and I'm just like, this is Toni Storm. Like, she's amazing in the ring. She was gonna be one of the future wrestlers in WWE on the main roster, and you put her in a segment where she's continuously being segments. Let me clarify, segments where she's constantly being belittled by Charlotte Flair. Like, what are we doing here? And this, of course, is back when Vince was head of creative. So I'm just like, we all are sticking up for Toni Storm. We all want her to excel, and we want her to go higher and higher. But I'll say this, I freaking love Kilynn King. Oh my gosh, ever since she was in dark matches, and then she was able to be on Dynamite, and it's been a while since I've seen her. You guys know I don't really watch Dark and Dark Elevation that much. I just stick to the main roster shows on TNT and TBS. But I was so excited to see her in the ring. I was so excited. I love her ring work. I really do. I remember watching her on NWA. So to see her on Dynamite with Toni was dope. It would have been nice to see Kilynn King win, but we already know Tony's pushing Toni. Tony's pushing Toni. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm happy that the match with Bryan Danielson and Daniel Garcia happened the way that it did. The match overall, I mean, of course, Bryan Danielson is always going to deliver. He's the freaking American Dragon. I wish he would go back to WWE. Shh, you didn't hear that from me. But, he's always going to deliver. And Daniel Garcia is definitely a rising wrestler. I feel like he is one of the futures of AEW. It's a definite rub. That was something that he really needed because he is a wrestler. And I love how Chris Jericho came in the ring and was about to go after Bryan Danielson, and Garcia was like, like he just like pushed him, was just like, no, basically picking wrestling over sports entertainment. So I'm just like, okay, I see the angle that it's going. So I'm wondering what's going to happen next week on Wednesday Night Dynamite to see, because I think Jericho is going to have some words with Daniel Garcia and see where his loyalty lies. And I hope that he sticks to his guns. And I hope that Daniel Garcia actually decides to join the Blackpool Combat Club, because that would be dope. That would be really dope. Yo, the beef with Jungle Boy and Christian is just, I feel like this storyline should be pushed more to the forefront. I feel like it has been building for weeks, and I love the fact that I just love it. I love it so much, and I'm loving the aggression that we're getting from Jungle Boy. I feel like he's getting better on the mic. Is getting a lot more believable, and it's so good. And I just find it very interesting that whenever an AEW person is in a storyline with a WWE person, especially with a veteran like Christian Cage, you're going to get really good TV. You just are. And Jungle Boy actually challenges Christian to a match at All Out. And I'm like, yes, we have been waiting for this. And even though Christian Cage said no, Jungle Boy was not going to take no for an answer. And then he just started beating him up. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. That is a storyline that I'm definitely looking forward to seeing go out in its fullness. Christian Cage is such a good heel. Like, he is such a freaking good heel. Like, how are you gonna be talking about someone's family, talk about they dead father, and then trying to go to their best friend and have him turn on him, only for him to play like punking out in the ring when he's face to face with Jungle Boy and talking about how you're a son. What is it? You were like a son to me. Come back home. Like, are you kidding me? Oh, all the things that you basically put it all on Jungle Boy. Like, you didn't mean the things that you said. Like, come on. Like, you can't get Butters and just cream, just velvety, just promo storyline like that from anybody else but Christian. So I'm definitely looking forward to that Jungle right there. So I was especially annoyed with the fact that in the tag team match between the Gunn Club and the Varsity Blondes, that the Varsity Blondes didn't win. And I mean, that match was ridiculously short. Like, it was too short for comfort. And I know that they were trying to make a point because, you know, the whole thing with last week where the Gunn Club won, but it was a struggle for them to win, and Billy Gunn was like, you got to do better and all this stuff like that. And then now with this week, they won quickly. Like, I thought that was BS, but it's funny how even with that match that I was not for, I liked how the ending was with the Gunn Club, the boys, Billy Gunn's sons, actually turning on their father, and then the Acclaimed coming out to defend Billy Gunn. So I know Billy has been comparing his sons to the Acclaimed, how he likes the Acclaimed better and all this stuff like that, and just making them feel small. So it makes sense that they would turn on him. And of course, they are going to be managed by Stokely. That man, I'm telling you, he is such a sneaky little snake. But the whole scissoring thing, like, y'all couldn't miss me with that. I really don't care for that. I'm tired of it. But I know it's their gimmick. It's whatever. It's scissor me, daddy. Like, come on. But I liked how that turned out. I'm wondering when the Acclaimed is going to turn on Billy Gunn, because I'm like, what sort of allegiance do they have with each other, really? And I'm wondering how that's going to pan out. So I'm curious about that. All right, folks, I'm about to ruffle some feathers. I'm seriously about to ruffle some feathers because I know when we talk about AEW and we talk about CM Punk, y'all, like, I know you guys are like, you better not say nothing bad about CM Punk. You better choose your words wisely. But I'm going to say what I need to say. And there's a way in which you can say something and have your opinion and say it respectfully so. So this whole thing with CM Punk and Jon Moxley, first and foremost, the whole the AEW interim world champion, I feel like that's BS. And I've always thought that was stupid, even back with the whole TNT, the interim TNT championship with the whole thing between Cody Rhodes and Sammy Guevara. I thought that was stupid, and I still believe the same thing. This is my personal opinion. If you get injured, you're a champion, right? And you get injured, I feel as though you just automatically relinquish your championship. You're unable to defend. I don't feel like that's fair. And in the case of Jon Moxley, I feel like he's worked his beep off to hold this title and to retain and defend. He's been defending this title, and he's been holding it down for AEW for a very long time. And he's a 2-time AEW world champion. And I feel like this whole interim thing is BS, even though I love the angle that Jon Moxley is going with, where it's like, what is he saying? I'm about to pull up this, I'm finna, you ever heard that? Well, I'm finna pull up this Twitter. This is what Jon Moxley said. I am the heart and soul of this company, and every time they call me interim champion, it makes me think of you, CM Punk, and it makes me sick. I love that. Because that's the same way I feel about the interim championship. I feel like that's just, it gets on my nerves and it makes me sick. So the whole beef between CM Punk and Jon Moxley, it makes sense for a gazillion reasons. I don't even need to go into that. But the whole brawl in the ring, and then I don't know how I feel. No, I do know how I feel about it. Let me just say it. It wasn't believable for me. Like, I could tell, like, the beef between the two of them was believable, but the actual, like, brawl itself was not believable for me. Like, I could tell, like, I was watching this with some of my friends last night, and it was a unanimous thing that we could tell that Jon Moxley was kind of taking it easy on CM Punk, because I feel like that man is still recuperating from his broken foot. I feel like he's not 100% back. And I could see that. Like, you guys in the comments, let me know if you saw that. Like, I know people are going to be like, you a hater, you a CM Punk. No, I'm not saying I don't like CM Punk. I'm not saying that at all. That's the last thing. Don't get me twisted. I respect CM Punk as a wrestler. To a lot of people, he's a wrestling, like, legend. And I have nothing but respect for that. He's had countless matches that I've seen that were incredible. It's like whoever he's put in the ring with, he's always delivered. But now he's older, and I feel like he is trying his hardest to carry AEW, but I feel like that is meant for a younger champion. I feel like the torch needs to be passed to someone else in AEW who is an AEW wrestler, who has been there from the get-go, who can be the face. And all I'm going to say is this. I would love for MJF to come back. And that storyline between CM Punk and MJF was pure gold. Pure gold. That's one of the times where I had to come back to AEW to watch that. That's one of the reasons why I watched it, was MJF. After I stopped watching it because I just got irritated with the product, and MJF and CM Punk were having their bout, I came back and started watching it because I wanted to know what was going to happen. And I would love to see MJF to be the face of AEW. I don't care if he's a heel or not. He is great on the mic, and he can deliver in the ring, and he has charisma, and he encapsulates a heel champion, and I would love to see him have that. So I'm curious to see how this whole thing with Jon Moxley and CM Punk is going to play out. So guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. Let me know in the comments what you thought about Dynamite, because honestly, the highlight of the night for me was Kenny Omega coming back. I was so happy, and I hope that moving forward with him back at AEW after his injury and his surgery, we're going to see some changes. And I know with the whole thing with WWE and how there's so many changes there and their product and people coming back and the future wrestlers, people who are coming up are getting more shine. I feel like that's going to put some fire under Tony Khan's beep. And we're going to see that on Rampage and Dynamite. So guys, let me know in the comments what you thought. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more episodes, and you guys will see me next time. Signing off. Bye.